Okay, hello everybody out there in the YouTube verse. This might be a bit of a long one because it's been a little while since I sat and went through the stuff that I've been reading. I'm a slow reader though, so I haven't actually read that much since August when I last did some kind of wrap up. I've just been very busy and quite tired a lot recently, doing all kinds of exciting London things. Which has been really nice. It's been really nice, but it does mean that time spent in my flat where I can sit and record and edit has been minimal. But I've had some coffee. I'm going to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child this afternoon, so I am bouncy. I'm full of energy, and yeah, let's get on this. Let's do this. Okay, so first up, since I last did one of these, I read a book called The Call by Pada O'Gillen. He's told me numerous times how to pronounce his surname. I still get it wrong. The Call is a YA horror novel set in a ruined island that pulls in lots of ideas of traditional Irish folklore and mythology. And basically, in the world of The Call, all teenagers will be called to the Greylands for 24 hours, and once there, they are hunted mercilessly by the Sidhe, who are the twisted fairies of Irish folklore, who are basically, they were chased from Ireland by the settlers and forced to live in this hideous, awful, dank, grey world that they live in, and they're really bitter about it, as you could imagine. So they steal teenagers. Every single one must face 24 hours in the Greylands, being hunted, and most of them do not survive. The Call it's very fast-paced. It's pretty brutal. Don't get attached to any characters, because I can guarantee most of them will meet a very sticky, rather unpleasant end. It's perfect for Halloween though. I would definitely recommend it. You fly through it. It's so pacey and so punchy. It's really good fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next from Pada, and also kind of exploring a bit more of Irish folklore and mythology, which it turns out pretty goddamn dark. Okay, the next book on my list by one of my all-time favourite authors is Unboxed by Non Pratt. Unboxed is a book that she has done for Barrington Stoke, who are a publisher who do books specifically for reluctant readers and dyslexic readers and people who enjoy a story but find actually sitting down in front of pages of words quite difficult. It's done on specially coloured paper to reduce headaches. The font is specially designed. It's all spaced in a way that makes it easier to read, but they don't compromise on the story, which is really important, and Unboxed is absolutely stunning. It's so good. You read it in an afternoon, it's really short, and it's about four friends who, when they were 13, created a memory box and hid it, kind of a time capsule sort of thing, and it's about these four friends going back to find it now that they're 18 and they've all drifted apart. None of them see each other anymore. It's a little bit awkward. There's some tension and some kind of regrets in there, and I think the biggest part of it is that when they made the memory box, there were 5 of them, but one of their friends in the intervening years has died from cancer. And I mean, you can see already from the cover, it's so evocative, and it's just absolutely stunningly simple. And the book itself, the characters are so well written, the dialogue between them is so down to earth and realistic. The reason Non is one of my favourite authors is because the way that she writes how teenagers interact and talk to each other is so accurate and so authentic that it makes her books really stand out. Unboxed made me weep tears of complete... It made me speechless is what it did. It did this. It's beautiful and it's hopeful and it's uplifting and it's very honest, and it makes you reminisce about the things that you might not get to say to people. So I think it's very important in that way, and it's just a beautiful story. It's a really beautiful story. I would definitely recommend everyone pick it up because it won't take you long to get through, and it's stunning. Right, the book that I read after that I don't actually have a copy of with me, can't hold it up, because it's out on loan. There's a couple in this video that I've lent out to people, and that book is A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. So I did a video a couple of weeks ago about The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, which I think is one of the best science fiction novels of the last 10, if not 20 years. Absolutely stunning book. And A Closed and Common Orbit is also absolutely gorgeous. It's just come out in hardback yesterday, I believe. And it's a very different story to her first novel, but it's set in the same universe. It touches upon a lot of the same themes. It has this feeling of found family and of how we can't always choose where we come from, but we can choose where we go, which is absolutely beautiful. It's a stunningly written science fiction novel, hugely accessible to people who don't think that they can enjoy sci-fi. You can enjoy sci-fi, I promise that you can. Okay, after that I read something a little bit lighter and a little bit younger, right there. And that was Cogheart by Peter Brunzel, which is a middle grade book set in a world, a kind of a steampunk world that is populated by kind of cog-driven clockwork creatures and automatons. And I gave it a read because I got a bit of a Philip Pullman His Dark Materials vibe from it, and it's good fun. It's not as deep as Pullman, which maybe is an unfair comparison because who is? But it was good. It was good fun. I maybe wanted something a little darker from it, but it was very sweet, and it has a clockwork fox in it called Malkin, who is great, and I want one. I want a clockwork fox, please. So if the good people at Usborne could see fit to have one made and sent to me, that would be fab. Okay, I'm going to talk about a couple of books that I currently have out on loan to various people, because they are great and people needed to read them, but I read them recently. So the first one was Lockwood & Co. Book 4, The Creeping Shadow. So for those of you who don't know, and I think I'm going to do a separate video on Lockwood & Co. at some point, one of the best kind of crossover middle grade into teen series that we've had since Harry Potter. I'm just saying it is. It is gothic and creepy and filled with ghosts and mystery and brilliant characters. 3 really good friends who are very different and bounce off each other really well. And it's just superb. They're brilliant books. They're by Jonathan Stroud. Did I say that? I don't think I said that. They're by Jonathan Stroud. And they're superb. I would definitely recommend anyone pick up the first book, which is The Screaming Staircase. It's gothic and it's a bit creepy, but it's not gory horror. It's ghosts. It's Percy Jackson meets Woman in Black. I mean, it's Harry Potter directed by Tim Burton. It's just really good, and I would definitely recommend anyone give that a go. The next book that I want to talk about is The Graces by Law Eve, which is a YA novel, and it's about a family called the Graces at this school, and it is about the rumours that follow them and the mythology that's built up around their family at this school, which is that they are witches, and they are beautiful and they are popular and everything always goes their way, and this has created this mythos around them that they are capable of brilliant and hideous and wonderful and ruinous magic, and that they use that to control the world around them. And it's about a new girl at the school. It's narrated from the perspective of this new girl called River, and it's about her obsession with them and how she very quickly decides that she must find out if they are the real deal, because she could use some magic to fix her life. It's a slow burn. The Graces takes a while to get going, but once it kind of hits its tipping point, it's brilliant. It's really, really twisted, very dark, very mysterious, very wuthering is the word I'm going to use. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but I'm going to use it in this situation because I think it works. It's set by the sea, it's windswept, it's gothic, it's a bit melodramatic, but it works. Okay, so after The Graces, I read a book called Wing Jones by Catherine Webber, by Katie Webbs. I read that while I was on tour with a couple of authors the other week, and I read it in a day and a half on various trains and in hotel rooms. And Wing Jones is a ray of sunshine squeezed into a book, basically, which is no surprise because Katie is a ray of sunshine squeezed into a person, and I should have expected nothing less than a wonderful, lovely book. So it's another YA novel, and it's about a girl called Wing Jones who has lived perpetually in the shadow of her athletic older brother, who is always perfect. He plays football on American football on the high school football team. He's a star athlete, and she's this kind of awkward, gangly, slightly too tall little sister, and she's always lived in his shadow until she discovers running, and running is the only time she feels completely free and completely uninhibited. And I'll be honest, I went into the book not knowing what to expect. I didn't think a YA novel about someone discovering themselves through running would be for me. I'm not really a sportster. And I was blown away. It's so lovely. She creates these characters that you care so intensely about, and the family dynamic is funny and it's honest, and sometimes it's not nice, but it's not nice in a way that is always underlying with love. So even though bad things are happening and the family are maybe snapping at each other, you can still feel this real dynamic between the characters. It might well be my favourite book this year. It's outstanding. The diversity of her cast is superb. Her way with words is lyrical. They flow and they kind of bounce across the page with so much energy and so much passion, and the book is just really uplifting. It's just absolutely lovely, and sometimes an absolutely lovely book is exactly what you need. Okay, after Wing Jones, I did this in the wrong order. I should have read this book, then Wing Jones. I read Paper Butterflies by Lisa Heathfield. This book is harrowing. It's so well written, but it's also so bleak, so harsh, so soul-wrenching that I would definitely recommend giving it a go. It's not for the light-hearted if you can't deal with pretty much every chapter ending on something just awful happening to its main character. Then you're gonna struggle with this book. It is only short, and it's about a girl called June who lives with her father and her stepmother and her stepsister. And her stepmother is incredibly abusive, both emotionally and physically, and the book doesn't shy away from that. It's very honest, it's very open about it. Her father has no idea, and June doesn't know how to tell him. But she meets this boy called Blister, and it's set over several years, actually, as the abuse that she suffers gradually escalates and her life becomes more and more miserable, but her friendship with Blister is what keeps her upright. It keeps her going, and the way that Lisa writes it, with very punchy, very short chapters, very blunt sentences really helps hammer home June's sense of misery and June's kind of very, very bleak worldview, very monotonous, repetitive, but with these very sharp elements of unexpected suffering kind of running through it. It's a brilliant book, but yeah, trigger warnings abound. It is harsh, but if you've got the stomach for it, it's definitely worth reading. Really, really good. I wept. Absolutely broke me in two, which is always a good thing. I like a book that does that to me. And that's it. That's all the things that I have read since I last recorded. Well, I've also read like 4 volumes of Saga, which is a graphic novel, kind of a space opera meets fairy tale science fiction thing. It's really hard to explain. It's really good. It's super violent. If you're into your graphic novels, you probably already read it. You're probably further ahead than I am. But yes, that. At the moment, I am currently about 2/3 of the way through A Quiet Kind of Thunder by Sarah Barnard, but I will be talking about that probably in my next one, which should be in another 4 months, if my timing keeps up. I have also will be launching, a dedicated YA magazine called Shift Magazine. You can follow us on Twitter already, although we're not planning on launching our first issue until January. So me and a few friends have put this together, me, Alice, Rachel and Lucy. And you can find us on Twitter to keep up to date. We're going to be talking about YA books. We're going to hopefully have reviews, interviews, original short stories. We're going to do kind of film reviews as well. So it's not just the book world, it's also events and kind of other bits and pieces that are happening within the YA community and the YA sphere. So that should be really good. I'll put a link to that in the description down below. Right, thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna hopefully be doing this more regularly, although I think I said that at the end of the last one, but I was nominated for the UKYA Blogger Awards Champion Vlogger, so I should probably be doing this on a more regular basis if I've been nominated for a goddamn award for it. So yeah, till next time, get out of my flat.